Hello there, this is Moltrap here with Diggity and Color, and we are bringing you game 4 of BeSt versus Stork. That's who you see on your screen. BeSt in his red and white SKT1 uniform. Stork in his pimp blue Samsung uniform. I've always liked the Samsung uniforms better for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. Probably because they look the most like some sort of 80s
NASCAR
sci-fi
driver.
movie with like futuristic motorcycle drivers, or yeah, like a NASCAR uniform or something like that.
NASCAR driver, I'd
Anyway,
say. Yeah.
so we're gonna come in here to game 4 on Plasma. Stork has been looking ridiculously good and putting a lot of pressure on BeSt, and we were talking a little bit about how this might be getting to BeSt's head, about how in the OSL finals last season, July just got in his head and just kind of sprawled around and scrambled his brains a little bit, and Stork is trying to do the same thing here by putting a lot of pressure on him. So I think BeSt is going to be a little bit nervous going into this next game. BeSt is a really, really good player, but I have to wonder if he's going to be playing his quote-unquote best game. I have to wonder if he's going to be playing his best right now. By the way, BeSt is in the white at the bottom left, and Stork is the purple Protoss doing some cheese right now.
Wow, sending out the probe scout already. Let's see what he's up to. Honestly, I guess we'll just have to see. I was going to say that this is the one map where, or I should say this is the one matchup, PvP, where I feel like Plasma doesn't have as much of an effect. Simply because, and this is weird too, because it's a 3-player map. Stork has to scout, but at the same time he doesn't want his probe to be seen. So never mind, he's just going to throw that. He just wanted a really, really early scout in, I guess, interestingly enough. Didn't want to, wanted to make sure that BeSt wasn't up to anything crazy there. And already has that probe scout. And I was like, yeah, I don't know that he can cheese because he can't hide a probe scout outside. And
Whoa,
putting
no.
What was that?
Oh, whoa. Oh, my God.
He's doing an in-base proxy.
In-base proxy?
Oh, my
Could this be? Could this be? By the way,
God.
if those who think an in-base proxy is impossible, go check out BeSt versus Pakju on my account, where BeSt builds. Oh my God,
Oh my
that is
gosh.
Stork's gateway. He's going to pull a BeSt here. That is the only time I've ever seen it, where BeSt built a Manor Pylon, followed it up by building 2 gateways inside of his Protoss opponent's mineral line, and then winning with pure Zealot Micro. So we're seeing competing gateways here. Stork, I think oh man, we really can't tell what's going on because of the colors. I don't know whose pylon it is. That could be BeSt pylon, an anti-Manor Pylon there. But this has just gotten ridiculous. That is Stork, by the way, putting a second gateway up.
Oh my gosh.
The purple probe
And
is
you know
Stork's. So Stork... What?
Oh, I'm sorry. That blocks BeSt from putting down another gateway on that first pylon, and so BeSt is not going to be able to plant down a second gateway right now.
Yeah, and
Wow.
Stork, meanwhile, BeSt, was killing Stork's pylon here, so Stork might be able to get out just one Zealot. He has a second, I believe that's a second pylon warping in, so it's going to be able to give him some backup. Can I say all in, though? I mean, this is as all in as it can get, of course, for Stork. He's got gateways right next to his mineral badges.
Oh my God.
And there's 2 gateways, and I don't see any additional gateway for BeSt, so I think Stork might have pulled this off with that additional pylon up top. Yeah, he did, in fact, box BeSt out from producing additional gateway. There's the additional gateway going down, but it's going to be much, much later than Stork's, and I think that will give the Zealot advantage. The question is, will the probe micro make up for it? And BeSt does not look happy or healthy in that shot right there. He looks just somewhat melancholy there. I do feel like the mental game is starting to get to him, and that is 3 Zealots out right there, and Stork is going to town. Oh man, let's just sit back and enjoy this for a second. That's a pylon going down. There's no backup pylon to. That's one pylon going down, so you can actually focus on the pylons too. Yeah, I think Stork's gonna. I think he already has taken this essentially.
Yeah, he's got to have. Yeah, there's the pylons going down in his base. So he's gonna. It looks like, I'm not sure why he is. Did Stork's probe die?
Yeah, Stork's probe might have died.
Oh, okay. So that means
this
that
is
he's
really
just
hard
trying
to tell.
put out as many Zealots as possible right now.
I think it's 4 and 4 right now. I think it's four probes for 4 Zealots for Stork. I'm trying to cast this, but it's a frenzy here. It's a real storm of action here. Looks like it's 3 Zealots left for Stork. He's executing all the probes one by one here. Now, this game could go longer though, because it looks like Stork is not going to win right here, right now. I mean, he's not going to pull up BeSt versus Pakju. This is going to be not so great for Stork because Stork has lost his battle actually. In the middle of all those
Wow.
Sonic Blades flying left and right, Stork actually came out not ahead. So Stork, well, I mean, I don't know economically whether he's behind or not, to be honest, because he has another gateway up, and this map you can't counter after this kind of after a failed cheese, like, or not a failed cheese, but obviously BeSt cannot go and counterattack Stork. He can't go and just rush up to Stork's base and finish him off because there's no way of getting through those eggs, those lurker eggs. So very interesting. This is going to turn out to be kind of like Game 1, I think, in a way.
Oh my
Stork,
gosh.
meanwhile, stealing the gas.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Stork just putting the pressure on BeSt, and you just see BeSt there with a little bit of a grimace. I don't know. I mean, is the mental game going to get to BeSt? Is he going to choke here because he can't handle it from Stork?
Oh man, this is absolutely crazy. You kind of have to look at exactly what the players have right now, and yeah, no gas means that BeSt has to expand. It's an okay build on this map to expand anyways. So, but let's just take stock of exactly what each player has. BeSt now has one base, well, second going up. He's got 2 gateways. He's got no gas. Stork has probably a robo going up by now because he had his core up a little while ago. Let's see, yeah, no robo at the moment actually, but kind of, if you just look at exactly what they have right now, basically they're about even, except Stork has one less gateway, but he has a lot more probes at this point. And BeSt has a few extra zealots. So I don't know. Diggy, who are you putting ahead at this point?
Stork is way ahead. I think Stork has sealed the game. BeSt cannot break through those lurker eggs with Zealots alone and make it in time for the Reavers. And the Reavers are... Stork does not need to put down an observatory. It would be pretty much a waste. He blockaded that gas, and so he knew that BeSt was not going to be able to tech up. And as a result, BeSt trying to sneak a probe through to try to do something here. So it's going to be all Zealots for quite some time. And honestly, Reavers versus Zealots, that's almost as bad as... It's worse than Reavers versus Dragoons, because with the shuttle, they can't attack air. You can just move around all you want. BeSt is going to have to put cannons down to try to defend against that Reaver and that shuttle. BeSt is just going to be able to run around, or I'm sorry, Stork is just going to be able to run around in the meantime, and that's more minerals that BeSt does not want to spend at this stage. Stork can take additional expansions, and yeah, honestly, he's going to have to put down all sorts of cannons to cover absolutely everything. Stork's going to be able to exploit a lot of room here just because you've got to get cannons to cover your entire base. He has nothing to fight this off. Absolutely nothing. So I think Stork, with that initial push, and it was hard. I thought Stork actually had more Zealots than he did just because, again, the colors on the videos we're watching, it's just I thought he had won the game right there, but I still think he's won this game by specifically getting that gas cap and forcing BeSt to go for an additional expansion rather than tech.
Yeah, that gas cap could have been the thing that actually sealed the game in terms of Stork's favor. Now, Stork, of course, he needs to do a lot of damage with his initial whatchamacallit, Reaver. I can't even talk anymore because my voice is dying from all the shouting that we've been doing recently. But if Stork could do it last game where he sent that kamikaze speed shuttle in, the first Reaver, which killed 17 probes, he can certainly do it in this game when there's just not even, there's one Dragoon on the ground for BeSt, and Stork now has a shuttle out already. So, really it's going to be cannons, and cannons don't outrange Reavers, of course. Meanwhile, BeSt is going to try to set himself into an intercept position. He's got a couple of Dragoons walking around. If he can get somehow lucky and somehow pin the shuttle or pick it off, then he could be back in this game. But, I mean, that's really going to be his only way, because if Stork has his way here, he's going to kill a lot more probes than even last game his first Reaver did, and it's going to be GG for BeSt.
Wow, yeah, Stork's going to have a Reaver out any moment now. And Stork expanding again, actually. I was going to say that BeSt taking the economic, taking the base advantage, rather, and then Stork catching up meant that they were actually going to end up with think about even in economy. But Stork basically has the tech and BeSt doesn't. So Stork coming in here with a Reaver and a shuttle now, and Stork even is going to try and, while he's harassing with this shuttle, he's going to try and take a third base just to seal the deal, although BeSt also going for that third base. BeSt not even being able to move out yet because he still doesn't have anything to break those eggs. So yeah, this is going to be crazy. It is going to come down to if Stork can accomplish much with this shuttle. He still does need to accomplish something, as you mentioned, with this shuttle. If he's going to... Oh, and shuttle speed again. Oh, he's going for the kamikaze shuttle speed again. The Nexus spots it. Let's see if BeSt can react. He's bringing back his Dragoons. The Dragoons are firing at the shuttle. The shuttle's taking damage. The cannon is there, but the Reaver drops. And oh, it gets... Oh, it looks like... I can't see how many kills. It looks like 10 kills. No, 9 kills. Jumps up to 14 or something
11.
like that before the Reaver dies.
11 kills.
11 kills. So, not the best, but Stork just completely stealing an economic advantage there when the only thing that BeSt had was a little bit of an economic advantage, I think.
Wow, that's all I have to say. Yeah, now Stork, he's got those 3 bases. BeSt still has nothing to break through the eggs, and that was the one thing that maybe BeSt could do here is go for a counterattack, but even then he's not going to be able to break through the eggs with just Dragoons and Zealots in time. And Stork those 3 bases on top of the probe kills, on top of that initial harassment, on top of everything else, he's in a great position to take this game. Honestly, I think BeSt's going to have to pull off something special, something very, very special to come back into this, and I don't know what that'll be. Maybe he can go High Templar, do a Storm drop, but even then, that's kind of very vulnerable. He's got that Reaver out, but I just don't see him being able to afford speed really to go speed at this stage. I think he's got to go. I don't know what he can do at this point, honestly. I think Stork just playing very, very well, going with that shuttle speed. I kind of expect him to do that. I mean, he knows he didn't really need observers out. He's basically protected. He can take bases without really worrying about anything. Might as well invest on that shuttle speed and go for some more economic harass. Surprised he didn't try to after that first shot, he didn't try to swing around and go for that out of position 9 o'clock expansion and go for some more probe kills there, but still very, very effective for him. Citadel of Adun going down straight to Templar. And honestly, yeah, we'll see what BeSt can do here.
It's going to be interesting to see whether either player decides to break those eggs. There are 2 ways of doing it feasibly, one with Dragoons and one with your Reavers actually killing those eggs. We'll see, though. I think in the late game that'll actually become an option. Once this initial phase comes out, basically it's just Reavers harassing and Dragoons trying to intercept. Here comes a speed shuttle for BeSt. This is BeSt speed shuttle. Meanwhile, a speed shuttle for Stork. So once again, we're going to see competing Stork speed shuttles, but looks like BeSt is actually breaking through. Meanwhile, towards the middle of the map, actually, that is towards the middle. Stork with a drop here. Looks like that Reaver is probably going to be a dud. Yeah, that is a dud there on those probes, so not going to get that. Meanwhile, killing just 1 probe there on the side. I think BeSt is going to try to move in the middle and maybe try to gain a little bit of position, maybe try to surprise Stork. Although actually it won't be able to surprise Stork. I mean, Stork's going to see this coming from a mile away. There's, the middle still has another layer of eggs before you can get into Stork's main. Maybe BeSt is trying to just set it up so he can get another gas, a 3rd gas. But in any case, this game is actually turning out to be a little bit more of a macro game, definitely a macro game at this point. So it's going to come down to mid to late game control, and BeSt has a chance of coming back. He isn't that far behind. As the game goes on, the difference in the beginning is going to become less and less. Now, Stork does have an extra base, so maybe I'm saying that too soon, but if BeSt can pull off some kind of good attack here, that could be it. And Stork actually opening up the middle for himself, too.
Wow, yeah, you're right. This is... after that craziness in the beginning, I honestly didn't expect this to be as long of a game as it is turning out to be. It is, I mean, you're right, this is moving into kind of the mid-late game here. Templar Archive is up for BeSt now, so, I mean, that's almost like, if you had to say one thing that meant it was officially late game, it was Templar, it would be Templar. So, here we go, and it looks like BeSt, I can't tell if he had another base over there. It looks like he might be setting up a base at the kind of 3 o'clock position, trying to even things up. So all the craziness of the beginning has kind of evened itself out, and you're right, it is going to be more of a kind of a longer standard macro game here, especially once they start busting open all these eggs, and then it's going to become, I think, greatly a game of positional control, where whoever can get the best position when the battle happens, as far as catching another player going out of their choke, funneling their forces or something like that. That's going to be the key, I think.
Looks like we're going to see a pretty sizable battle right here. Stork's got a lot of Dragoons. I can't really tell what the supply is. I've got to assume... Oh, man, that Observer got killed. There's a Dark Templar in with that force. That might be a little bit of a difference. I don't know how many Dark Templar are in that attack force. Stork pushing up, a lot of Dragoons coming from behind. 2 Reavers behind, not getting a lot of shots off initially, where I think that shuttle might be down. I think that shuttle was picked off of BeSt, that those Reavers trying to push out. 1 Reaver taken down. 2nd Reaver's going to be taken down. Dragoons, wow, pushed up, taken out, and now BeSt completely in the retreat. Right now, Stork has a pretty... I think he has a sizable economic lead, just looking at the minerals in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm pretty sure he has a sizable production lead. He had all sorts of gateways down that I don't think BeSt could really afford at that stage. BeSt trying to sneak this 3 o'clock. I don't think he can defend that. I think he's essentially just hoping that he can get some cannons up and that Stork's not going to spot it in the meantime. And we'll see if Stork can come around to spot. And I think that that taking out that observer was pretty significant.
Oh.
Stork going up for a killing blow, though. It looks like he's going to push in on that 6 o'clock location on the other side of those eggs. And yeah, he's got a lot. Yeah, he's going to push right through to that gap to try to hold that gap. And then we'll see if he can swing around. BeSt is going to be able to take that 3 o'clock location. The question is will he be able to hold it eventually? And Stork, interestingly enough, opening up the egg, so he's not going to try to hold this. He's going to try to press this.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty much an all-in battle here. Well, not an all-in, but certainly he's going to throw all of his forces in here. I just love the middle of the map when the players meet. It's almost like a Wild West, like showdowns. Like, let's meet in high noon, and, you know, we're going to stand there with our forces and then rush them in. But Stork won that duel there, you know, and I think maybe it is BeSt's, you know, fatigue, or maybe it's the psychological, you know, it's defeatism is getting to him. Stork, meanwhile, getting among the gateways here, and looks like he's getting surrounded with speed lots, though. So, but his Reavers are going to pick up a lot of those, and Stork has just had great micro with his Reaver the entire game. I mean, still that shuttle is alive, despite how much combat it's seen. Basically, Sonic Storm actually on Stork's Dragoons, but that's not going to make that much of a difference, though. Looks like Psystorm has been researched for BeSt gulping here. Stork once again getting his Reaver, and this Reaver could do a lot of damage. Another great Reaver shot by Stork, and Stork could close out this game right away here. This game could be over in a matter of seconds. Stork all among the gateways. If he takes down his expansion, there's no choice but for BeSt to concede. All the gateways are going to go down, and Stork just has pummeled BeSt throughout this entire series. Just what a great game played by Stork, and I don't know how BeSt can come back from this position.
Wow, look at this. Stork going for speed lots to reinforce quickly, and the speed lots arriving just in time as well, just powering down the middle of the map. And Stork, yeah, still with that one shuttle with the Reaver in it, still pounding away. And I mean, now at this point, BeSt has lost gateways, he's lost his entire army, and there's GG. Stork has taken the OSL semifinals. Stork is going to the finals. BeSt, the Wonder Kid, is going home with another crippling mental defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, Stork, your winner of the OSL semifinals. I am absolutely amazed.
He's got to feel so good right now. He's got to look at the other side. He's got to taste gold. Wow, fist pump in the air right there. Big celebration. He deserves it. He played fantastic. Oh, man, every single set, he was just on top of that game, really mentally dominating BeSt as well. BeSt did not look, he just looked frustrated in that last game. Stork looked the opposite. He looked calm, collected, and just determined. Stork, wow, I really do think, I think it's his OSL, guys, and it'll be nice to see him take the gold, but I guess I'm speaking a little bit early here. Now, if he can play like he did here in the finals, I really think he's going to take it down because he's not playing predictably. He's playing very solidly across the board. Even with his strategies, he's been very well calculated, very well executed. BeSt looking devastated in the opposite end. Honestly, still a good player, so he mentally recovered pretty well from that first OSL loss. We'll see if he can do it in this OSL loss. He was so close. He was tasting gold right there as well. But man, Stork, awesome. I cannot wait to see him in the finals.
Sun Byung-gu fighting, and despite what I predicted, I was wrong. I mean, I'll the first to admit that Stork impressed the hell out of me this entire series. Sun Byung-gu now going out to his fans. I think he's got probably more fans than BeSt does. He's probably got to be he is definitely one of the most popular pro gamers out there, of course, because you know, recently he's been very well mannered. He's very friendly. He's he's just a very popular player, and you know, he won the WCG last year. He's made it to so many finals. And you know, he's got a huge fan club. But anyway, BeSt, yeah, looking absolutely devastated. I think in some ways the last game, that battle in the center, showed Stork's absolute mastery of the mid and late game.
Did we lose caller?
Lose you there? I think we might
Right.
have lost caller. No, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
we
ahead.
can now.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say Stork really just winning that battle in the middle, really a showdown in the Wild West there. And I thought BeSt would be better in his mastery of the late game control, but Stork picking off BeSt's shuttle and keeping his shuttle alive critically. Those two Reavers are gonna go into the Hall of Fame in ire there. Stork shaking the hands of his fans. Man, Stork is Sun Byung-gu for president. He is the man of the hour right now.
Yeah, and I think you pinned it down as far as his shuttle and Reaver Micro and that sort of thing. That is what kind of failed him in the game that he lost, and he really picked it back up and came back and showed BeSt what he was really made of. And I have to say, this whole series kind of reminded me a lot of BeSt versus Stork, not recently, but their OSL finals from before, where everything was very, very close. There's a lot of crazy builds being used by both sides, and Stork, he won a couple games on sheer guts in those OSL finals a few seasons ago, and here, taking the OSL semifinals with the same guts, the same grit, the same just perfection of play and determination and ingenuity that almost got him those finals before against BeSt. So I am also looking forward to him in the finals. Known for his PvP most of all, but his PvT is probably also very well known, his second. And so, it's going to be exciting to see him in the finals, definitely. It's either going to be a Royal Rotor or finally a gold for Stork, so it's going to be exciting one way or another.
Wow, and Stork, it looked like him and both Coach January there looking a little bit broken up. They're just so happy to get there. You can see the relief on his face and the excitement, a huge combination, not wanting to get knocked out. He's extremely emotional right there. Got to be feeling the full gambit here. And honestly, I think he's going to have a very, very strong chance. We've already, I think, spoiled here who he's going to be facing. He's going to be going up, and if just in case he hasn't, go ahead and switch off. He's going to be going up against Fantasy. And honestly, Fantasy against GG Play, he got through on his creativity, and I don't think he's going to be able to skitter through on creativity against Stork. Stork is just too solid a player. He's too smart a player, and I know that's kind of funny me saying that, where Stork has been beaten by creativity almost every other game in the past. But I got to as far as taking silver, but honestly, I'm not sure on this map set against a Protoss like Stork, the way he's playing right now, that Fantasy can pull something like he pulled against GG Play to take it down. And honestly, I don't think. Let's compare Fantasy, for example, to Flash. Fantasy isn't looking dominant like Flash was looking dominant. He looked very creative, but not dominant. I mean, he's definitely shifted the way probably Terran versus Zerg is going to be played for a bit of time, at least on this map set. But he's not looking like the solid and dominable player that Flash was when he beat Stork. Honestly, I think this is, I gotta say, this is going to be Stork's OSL.
I can't disagree with you here. Really, in my predictions for the last game, I'm definitely not predicting against Stork. Stork looking absolutely reinvigorated this series. And let's put this into perspective. He didn't just beat any Protoss, any top-level Protoss. This wasn't beating BeSt. This wasn't beating Much or Jangbi. This was beating BeSt, whose specialty, whose absolute pinnacle play was Protoss versus Protoss. This is the equivalent of a Zerg beating Jaedong in a best-of-5. I mean, BeSt wasn't necessarily the best Protoss around. He certainly was shimmering around the edges of being the best, but certainly everyone thought he was best at Protoss versus Protoss. No one even, disputed that. The guy has won so many Protoss versus Protoss.
I did.
I mean, almost a 4-to-1 ratio. Motrap did, actually, and Diggity did also, so I'm willing to eat some crow here, but I'm actually quite happy because I'm eating crow, but I'm not eating Stork, If he lost, I'd be eating Stork. That made no sense. But yeah, anyway, great game by Stork. I'm going to pass it on. I have nothing more to say. I'm looking forward to the finals, though, which will be played in about 2 weeks between Stork, or in about a week and a half, I think, between Stork and Fantasy.
Yeah, everyone kept saying that that Stork was, that BeSt was the best PvP and Stork was no longer. I kept pointing to when Stork beat him, and at this point, by the way, let's see, Stork just handed BeSt 1/3 of his losses ever in PvP. He has 8 total losses, and Stork just gave him 3. So Wow, absolutely crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I have to say, I don't know that I have anything else to say. OSL Final is going to be awesome on Halloween night, guys. So make some plans to sit down and enjoy it. Stork taking it over, over BeSt, and it just feels good to say, I have to say.
Yeah, as much as I wanted it, I didn't completely expect it. So it's nice to see Stork doing well at what he does best. So GG, and we'll hopefully see you guys for the finals.
GG.